My review of Avengers Endgame. I can't help but include political bullshit in this because it'll be mainly political bullshit because you can't make movies or see movies without political bullshit anymore. So about 1/20th of this will be the actual movie. The rest will be Brie Larson. Okay, so the movie's 3 hours long. First 20 minutes is action-packed. Okay, so there's spoilers. First 20 minutes is action-packed. Then the next 40 minutes is very boring. Then the next hour is Back to the Future Part 2. Then the last hour is really good. The movie's great, although I'd say it's about a quarter as good as Infinity War. But Infinity War was perfect. I just finished watching it 5 minutes ago, so I don't have a lot of thoughts, but I'll think of some things that stick out to me. Hulk doesn't fight at all in the whole movie, considering how obnoxious and retarded she is. She does a good job. Luckily, Brie Larson isn't in it very much. She's tolerable when she's in it, although it's still, aside from it being Brie Larson, it's pretty bad that Captain Marvel is 100 times more powerful than everybody else, because everybody else looks really dumb now, and all of their fighting means nothing because she can just come in and kick everybody's ass whenever she wants. It's kind of like Superman. I'm trying to think of the difference. I suppose the only difference is that Superman is so well known that we already know how powerful he is, but Captain Marvel, nobody's heard of her, so it's especially out of place to have some super overpowered character all of a sudden show up. So that's enough of the review of the actual movie, but here's a review of the whole Marvel Cinematic Universe going forward, and why I want no part of it. I downloaded the movie, and I'm going to give it to as many people as possible, and I'm going to encourage them to give it to as many people as possible. Because I don't want Brie Larson to get any of my money, or anybody's money. If she thinks that I'm not good enough to see her movies, then I don't think she's good enough to take my money. And I don't mind if men are obliterated and, neutered. That's fine with me, but at least present me with something, a nice alternative after that. But this is not a good alternative. This sucks. The future that Brie Larson wants. It's a neutered, ugly, boring place. Right? Like, if women are going to be more powerful than men, then at least make them more powerful than men. Don't just cut every man's dick off and say, oh, look how powerful women are now. Am I overreacting? Yeah, maybe, but watch one interview with Brie Larson and try to tell me that she thinks that men and women should be equal. Yeah, right. Mind you, most women are not evil and stupid like Brie Larson. Most women are decent and want men and women to be equal. But in this case of women trying to destroy men, let me liken it to racism, or the idea of letting other cultures into your country. Here in Canada, we have a thing where we let a lot of Middle Eastern countries in, and then we get upset when they want to remove the Catholic and the Christian prayers from our schools, right? We get all upset about that. We have an attitude where we think they should be grateful that we let them in, and they should be accepting our culture, not imposing their own. Whereas my more mature attitude is, that's what humanity does. They always try to impose their wills on other people. Humans are terrible. I mean, look how we got here, us being Europeans. We came in, we destroyed the natives, and then we preach about freedom. So what's the answer? The answer is, don't let people into your country unless you're ready for them to try to take it over and change it. It's too late for Canada and the States because they already let people in, and those people are going to always try to change it, and they probably will change it because, they outnumber the Europeans. And I don't blame them because that's what people do. That's what humans do. They try to take over. They try to impose their beliefs on other people. So I don't really blame women for trying to take over and to put men, cut their dicks off. And I don't even really blame Brie Larson for trying to do that. I blame her for being stupid about it, but I don't blame her for trying to do it. However, I'm not going to pay to get my dick cut off. And that's basically what I would be doing if I paid to see Endgame. And I couldn't help but get a kind of Last Jedi feel from this movie, even though this movie's infinitely better, but everything's infinitely better than Last Jedi, of course. One reason was that Captain Marvel was more powerful than the original Avengers, in the same way Rey was more powerful than the original Star Wars character, well, Luke. Another reason is that The Last Jedi killed all the hype for Star Wars, and this movie kind of kills all the hype for any future MCU movies. I mean, of course, at least it wasn't episode 8 of 9 movies, right? This was supposed to be the closure movie, so that's good. But still, who really gives a shit about about the future of Marvel now with Brie Larson in front and center, and with Falcon as the new Captain America? He can't do it. Why? Because he's black? Maybe. Also because he's not as powerful as Captain America. Falcon's just a guy, right? He has no superpowers whatsoever. How can he be Captain America? Yeah, now that I think about it, it was probably a mistake to kill off Tony Stark and basically kill off Captain America, because they need them. They should at least be there to pass the baton on in future movies. This isn't passing the baton. This is just it's like dropping the baton. Captain Marvel hasn't been properly integrated into this ongoing thing yet, and she should have been properly integrated. Captain Marvel should have been in 5 movies, 2 with Iron Man, 2 with Captain America, 1 with Hulk. She needed to be more integrated. In a way, this whole thing ended at the perfect time, because the formulas were losing steam. We were seeing too much of the same thing and again. It wouldn't have lasted forever anyways, so it ended perfectly right when it should have. And I think it's over now. I think the MCU is done. They're going to try, but they're going to fail. I can't think of a good analogy for this, but I'll go with this one. It's like you buy farmland or whatever, and you farm, and you make the most of the soil, and you use up all the resources. And then Brie Larson comes along, and you go, hey, and you think to yourself, I got to unload this shitty land now that's all dried up and it can bear no more fruit. Hey, here's this idiot. I'll sell it to her for, $10. She's so stupid, she'll think that it's a good deal. But meanwhile, she has no idea it's worthless because we've used it all up. And so, she's taking over, and she thinks she's taking over this vast universe, but really it's all done. So she's gonna she's gonna be in these empty movies now. It's all, or showing up at a party when everybody's already had the best time and they're already too drunk and they're going to sleep, but you just show up and you're like, wow, hey, look at this, I'm at the biggest party. And some guy's like, oh yeah, you could be the DJ. Look at this, I'm DJing at the best party ever. But meanwhile, everybody's leaving. But you think, you're so deluded. You think that you think everybody's gonna love you, and you're following the best act. You're you're going on right after the best DJ ever, right? And you're not even a very good DJ. And you think that you're gonna be the life of the party, but people have hangovers and they're covering their ears when you start playing, and there's no more booze left because everybody drank all of it. And and then you look up and nobody's there. Everybody left. And everybody went to work, and it's a Monday morning, and you're just DJing this shithole. The windows are all broken. There's puke on the floor. That's what Brie Larson's doing right now. Oh, wait, it's worse for her because nobody likes her. So, yeah, change that analogy I just used to where you're going to a party where everybody doesn't like you already. Or if somebody were to die, and instead of leaving their kids their fortune, they leave them a debt. That's what Brie Larson inherited. Or the way the previous generation, the baby boomers, they had a boom. They had a great party where they made lots of money and started their own businesses and had lots of fun and used up all the resources. And now the next generation is totally screwed. They got nothing. It's all been used up. They're left to clean up the mess. That's what Brie Larson is doing. She's left with nothing, and she thinks it's a victory. The funny thing is that it's true. It's so obviously true that the MCU's done. Their golden era just concluded with Endgame. And Endgame is such an appropriate title considering that. So that's about it. One final thought though. Star Wars. Okay, women being more empowered. Isn't it enough to have the main protagonist of the trilogy be a female? Shouldn't that be enough? But no, they have to obnoxiously cut every man's dick off. And that doesn't make the woman look more powerful, right? It just makes the man get his dick cut off. And so with the MCU, shouldn't it be enough to have Captain Marvel be the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Do you also need to have Brie Larson shooting her stupid mouth off all the time? Do you also need her to be more powerful than every other character combined? No, you don't. It just makes it all look silly. So have fun. Rock on, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel Cinematic Universe. If you support gays, click like. If you respect blacks, comment. If you think women are people too, click the notification bell. And if you care about sick children, subscribe. Oh, here's my end credit scene. I'm going to start doing end credit scenes. I've started reading, because I've quit movies, because pop culture has decided to insult me and tell me that I'm shit. It's not enough for them to take my money. I also have to be shit. Since I've quit, I've started reading a book called The Insulted and Injured by Fyodor Dostoevsky, and it's great.